All praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to Apostle Elders in New York, which is GMS, and salutation to you all around the world that's teaching truth in your lives on the line for it. And shalom to you, serious Aqua. My name is Maya Gaala, one guy, the Chicago branch of Great Millstone. And I'd like to make a disclaimer that we are not black Hebrew Israelites, we are Israelites. All right, black is a color, not a nationality. The Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and speckled birds scattered abroad. Speckled birds are Israelites who look like other nations, but their fathers' paternal bloodline go back to the 12 patriarchs of Israel. We are not affiliated with any violent militant terrorist groups. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. All right, and right here we have stumbled across this morning, do more research, on the tribe of Issachar, so-called Mexican Indians. All right, if your father's paternal bloodline go back to so-called Mexican Indian within Mexico, all right, you from the tribe of Issachar, your father's paternal bloodline go back to the Mayas of South Mexico and Southeast Mexico and Central America. All right, you are from the tribe of Zebulon. All right, so and these two individuals, Edomites on here, they're going to talk about the enslavement of Issachar, so-called Mexicans. And in Mexico, Zebulon got caught up in it too, because they by each other. And this is the thing that you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans don't know about. Why? Because Esau hides this in his history books, man. Matter of fact, a lot of you think you so-called Negro Jew, you actually belong to the Northern Kingdom. You Gad, Reuben. Some of you actually are Zebulon. Zebulon, man. All right. So, and this is, Esau had set the program where the only damn thing is your first, your middle, and your last name, your social security number. All right, and then false Bower he put upon you, black, Puerto Rican, Mexican, etc. And know how to just scratch your head and scratch your asses. And that's how he set it up. Why? Because you want to know the fact that you are the Israelites. You don't know who you are, man. All right. All right. So, and other things about finance. All right. It says, for the love of money is the root of evil, man. Right, it's all about money, money, money. All right, that dollar bill, y'all. So, let me play this. All right.
You do very interesting work. So I want to get to the Mexican slavery piece, because I don't think in North America we think of slavery beyond much about what we did or what happened in the islands.
Yep. That's how they were traded. They always show Judah, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. That's all they show, but they'll never reveal the fact that indigenous people of America, which are the Northern Kingdom, went into captivity, man. All right.
Before liberation, and yet there's a sadness to the story in Mexico that's just as profound as ours.
Oh yeah, well there's a curious difference between the two slaveries that
there ain't no difference. It's the same damn thing, man. All right, Jake got enslaved. Jake got massacred, brutalized, raped, enslaved. All right. Lost their heritage, man. It's the same damn thing, man. All right.
Yep. So there's two systems of slavery. The Spaniards, when Cortez conquered Mexico, they had a very hip attitude towards slavery, that they didn't buy slaves from Africa or anything. They would just enslave the native population. They even did that in Europe when they conquered a European country.
See that? Oops, he done told on himself. Well, yep. All right. All right.
And so they when they conquered Mexico, there were over 30 million.
Now, what he said is on purpose, or it was a slip of the tongue, whatever they had been spirit. He brought that up when they conquered European countries. You gotta think about, like, who did they conquer in those European countries? All right, because the spirit brought that up. Who's ruling Europe? The so-called Negroes, the Southern Kingdom, the original Irish, British, French. Then you had the Moors that was living in Portugal, Spain, France. It was killing certain aristocratic Israelite bloodlines in Europe and stuff, and you put them over here into slavery, man. And some of it was the Jacobites. Then you had the turncoat 2/3. All right, the two-thirds that set up the slave ports over here in America. The Huguenots, which was considered the Moriscos and Spaniard Sephardi Jews and Portuguese Jews, man, who betrayed their own people and later on got betrayed by Esau and got enslaved alongside with their people. All right. All right. So right here,
Indigenous people living in Mexico, and a lot of them, they killed a lot of, the Spaniards killed a lot of them inadvertently through the diseases, smallpox, measles, right, whatever. But they also, so in 1565, the Spaniards had a silver strike called El Rufo, and they discovered almost overnight that Mexico was one gigantic mountain of silver. And as soon as
see that, yep.
As soon as they discovered that, the days were numbered for the native population, and they just enslaved them. They had no rights. They just enslaved them promiscuously into the silver mines, the gold mines, and the different haciendas, and worked them to death in the fields. And within about less than 100 years from that moment, they had reduced the indigenous population from over 30 million down to less than 1 million, and they were in the process of going extinct. And the Catholic Church, which had been relatively cruel in their attitude toward colonization, they actually intervened, and they said, these people that, we may not think much of them, but they've got souls to be saved for Jesus. Therefore, there was no penalty for killing Indians, and they said you're not allowed to kill Indians for no reason at all anymore.
See that? Just like the so-called Negroes, man. All right, the tribe of Judah. Now Esau treated Judah in North America down in Mexico. They treated Issachar the same thing, the same way. All right, get this. All right, he said they came, they conquered now. All right, let's prove that the 12-tribe chart is legit, man. Regardless of what vocab alone. Cause see, vocab alone, we glad we in Great Millstone. We glad you show up on Sonetta, man. Cause see, you gonna spread this truth, man. All right, that's what you set up vocab alone. Your job is to scoff at the truth and us to to draw attention to people to our channels. All right, and wake up the elect and the 1/3 that's among those groups of people that look at our channels because of you vocab alone. So thank you. All right, get this. Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far from in the earth, swift as an eagle, fly of a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. That's why he had Israelite that spoke Hebrew to talk to these people in America. All right, a nation of fierce counsel which shall not regard a person the old, nor show favor to the young. All right, then you go to you brought those diseases over here. Where is that? So I'm trying to find. All right, Deuteronomy 28:61. Also, every sickness, every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them Yahweh bring upon it to thou be destroyed. All right, and ye should be left few in number, where you were as stars of heaven for multitude, because you would not obey the voice of how thy power, right? Because they was trickled down in numbers, man. All right, just like all the 12 tribes during colonization slavery time. But guess what? Hosea 1:10 said Israel come to sand and sea. So, over the years, you start regaining those numbers again, man. All right. And then say they came and enslaved them. It says Deuteronomy 28:43, the stranger that within thee should get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down below. He shall lend to them, thou shalt not lend to him, and he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. All right, so he became the tail. Then you go to Genesis 49. All right, it says right here, Genesis 49:14. It says Issachar is a strong ass couching down between burdens. And he saw the rest was good, and the land it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder down, became a servant on tribute, that's slavery. It became slave, no silver mines, man. All right, it became slave, no silver mines. All right, it's called strong as a little burro. All right, you see that burro donkey couched down between two burdens, America and Mexico. All right, and he saw the rest was good. That's yes, and the land was pleasant, beautiful, man. All right, beautiful, and they also, it's a pleasant, beautiful land. All right. And then land had, like the man said, land had resources, man. All right. But that's why people run down to Mexico all the time. It's a beautiful place, man. California is part of Mexico. It's a beautiful place with the mountains and stuff, man. All right.
And you cannot work them to death in your fields and your.
And Issachar is Yashakar. I mean, he is hired. Esau knows that's why he hired a lot of so-called Mexicans. Issachar, man. All right. That's why Esau were working to death, man. All right.
In your minds, so that but at that point, the Spaniards had basically raped anything that stood still long enough, and they had a very large mestizo population.
All right, let me correct that. All right, first of all, the reason why Esau got his mestizo population, because he did paper genocide. He forced the indigenous people of Mexico, Issachar, to write down their census record. They are mestizo. The same thing he did to Gad, the so-called Native Americans on the East Coast. When they started labeling them as Negro, white, mulatto, etc., etc. All right, so it's a lie, right? That's a lie right there. All right, and another thing, they didn't get rid of all these people as they claim, man. All right, people still around. Hold on, let me get this to show you that. Right. And show you some update pictures and stuff. All right, you see Asa. You see people, the one woman from Waka, Mexico, 1935, dark. All right, pretty much dark skin. All right, man. I forgot what see it. You can see it's a car, right? See right here, dark. All right, this is from I think from the 1800s, something like that. No, it's the same era, 1935. You see the boy, you see his grandma, you see his sister, or it might be his mom, you know. All right. Okay, so these people are still very dark, man. All right, get this right here. This is from the book Sex and Race, Volume 1. It says, the oldest inhabitant of Mexico, according to some, were Negroes. All right, Negro just means dark brown skin, man. All right, that's all it just means. All right, no people, you Judite so-called Negroes in America, that's not talking about you. It's talking about the tribe of Issachar down there. All right, and those that are the seed of those men, the original dark-skinned men, regardless of what color you are the seed of your father, like we all said. according to Numbers 118, we always point that out. All right, it says the older habits of Mexico, according to some, were Negroes. According to the others, the autonomy, the existence of Negroes of the Giants come to believe by nearly all races are sold in variation language. They had the words of destiny. This book by J. Rod, it said in Teotihuacan about little heads Ethiopian type paintings of Negroes in Michoacan and Oaxaca had also been found. The almost total extinction of Negroes during the time of Spanish conquest. And the members of the most ancient tradition influenced us to believe that Negroes were the first inhabitant of Mexico. Historial General D. Mexico, page 14. Mexico, 1919. All right. It says, Riviera Pilot is indisputable that very ancient times before the existence of autonomy, the Negro race occupied the territory of Mexico when two continents were joined. All right. Everybody was, this talking about the Genesis 1, the landmass, right? But there was such thing as Issachar back then. We was, we was the as a nation we was called cause we was, you reincarnated. When our previous lives, a nation we called Ban Allah. Ban Allah. Ban Allah means son of the power. All right. All right. So that was my name. Then we got reincarnated to through Jacob, Yasher Allah, he Prince of Power. All right, he Prince of Power. All right, after the flood, everybody killed off in the flood, except from Noah. All right, so so this car went back there then, but it says the race brought us on religion, close ideas, Mexican Mexico, A. Travis de los Signos, Volume 1, page 6367, 1887. He asked that Mexican called a Negro God. It's going to mean blackface. According to Cambridge Encyclopedia, quote the Zoto, the Mexican Messiah. All right, that's your Howard was also black and black and woolly hair. Woolly hair, according to Buckley, the Mexican god Quetzalcoatl is clearly the Osiris of Egypt. Quetzalcoatl is, I said, going off right there. They said clever our current history magazine, January 1934, Salag. All right. All right. Well, so basically just showing the indigenous people of tribe of his car, dark skin. All right. So I'm still dark skin, man. I'll show you pictures again. All right. Some light skin, some naturally light skin. Some became light skin due to miscegenation, all right, race mismatch. But if you follow paternal bloodline, go back to the indigenous people in Mexico, you are there is like tribe of Issachar. All right, and this is right here, the Karen Vega, man. Now you would think she's a so-called Negro, but she's Issachar. All right. I said if I pronounce this name, this town wrong, place, city, don't forget Mexican Mall. Karen Vegas bring in walking pride to Mexico. All right. Now she's the first indigenous model to hit the magazine covers, man. All right. To show you it's a caste system set up down in Mexico, just like here in America, man. You're back in the day, the first so-called Negro this, first so-called Negro this, and this and that. It's the same system, man. It's the same system, except it's just in Espanol. All right. All right, you can see. All right. All right, this woman is straight up Issachar, man. All right. All right, these people still around, so that lie that you black only Israelites like to tell, that all the people in Mexico are Edomite looking. No, bro. All right, that ain't gonna pass. All right. So let me get back to this. Back to let's take this clip. Oh, it's one thing I gotta read. Yeah, so fair use. Let me see. They won't take this down. Section 107 Korea provides a statutory framework to determine whether something is fair use, identifies certain types of use, such as criticism, comment, and reporting. Teaching, scholarship, and research as examples of activity that may qualify fair use. Section 107 calls for considering the following 4 factors about fair use. All right. So this is teaching, research, and scholarship. All right, this is for education purposes. I do not own the video nor the visage of it nor the audio to it. All right, this is for educational purpose only. All right. So I'm gonna continue to play this. Come on, man. I don't care none of this stuff. All right.
Well, let's hold on to that thought right there, and we'll come right back, because this is, and the story you're already telling intersects with some other popular movies which tell at least part of that story too. But I want to get to the full story of the lingering part of Mexican slavery too next on Coast to Coast AM. This is Ian Punnett. You know what we're talking about, at least in part here for this conversation with Bob Gleason involves his new book. And it focuses, at least in part, on Mexican slavery. So we're talking about something which, perhaps you know it, perhaps you have some unique insight to this from personal experience in terms of your family history, or that's something that you've studied. But otherwise, when we talk about slavery in North America, it's pretty much focused on what the U.S. had done and its unique way of doing slavery.
Yep. It's not talked about, and that's why you gotta search out, man. Like it says, I have you not eaten anything small or great. It says that in Apocrypha, all right? And Sirach, I believe Sirach chapter 16. All right. Matter of fact, we'll get these couple of this. This is page 32 in the book African and Native Americans by Jack D. Fords. He's a Gadite. It says, not necessary here to review all the data relative to enslavement of the Americans in Panama, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Mexico, Peru, and other countries. There's sufficient evidence to indicate that at least through the 1500, large number of slaves were procured and shipped to various locations. Okay, that's Deuteronomy 28:68. All right, it says some of well, I'll get to that later because something else he said in here. All right. All right, so we'll come back to that. All right.
And Bob Gleason started this conversation by saying there was a differentiation between American slavery and Mexican slavery. And I want to get back to that, and we'll do it next. On Coast to Coast AM, this is Ian Punnett. Talking with Robert Gleason and the new book, Dead Men Don't Tell Lies. But Mexican slavery here being the core of the conversation, and we'll get back to a couple of the other threads of Bob Gleason's research I want to ask him about before we get to phones and bring you into the conversation too. But I want to pause that for just a second, and I want to say, part of how I reference what you're writing about was through the movie Apocalypto, the Mel Gibson movie, which I thought was excellent.
Yeah, great movie.
It was, even though they compressed the timeline a little bit, and even though there were certain dramatic compromises that had to be made, I thought it was super effective. And it was I'm going to ruin the ending for people who've never seen it, but it was a very misinterpreted ending, where because of some, there was some hard feelings still about Mel Gibson. I think fairly well placed in many regards, but there were some things that Mel Gibson had done which had gotten him a less than favorable view from a lot of critics, and so they were very harsh about the ending of the arrival of the Spaniards to the shores after all of the events that take place in Apocalypto. And some people said, "Oh, this is Mel Gibson making a case for here comes the West to save the indigenous people from themselves, and this is his version of particularly Catholicism saves the world." And I didn't get that at all. Even the first time I saw it, and I thought, wait a second, that's actually really bad news. That they don't realize how bad the news is when those big red crosses on the sails show up on their shores. And this is what you're getting at, is that it was all, I mean, in some ways, between the Aztecs and the Mayans, those were already brutal and sometimes violent societies, but it was nothing compared to about what was going to happen to them when the Spaniards got there.
Yeah, during the next 130 years after Cortez landed, that as I said, that there had been approximately 33 million indigenous peoples in Mexico, and there were fewer than a million left. And that is, you could imagine what the Mexican people were going through during that period. It was going through, they had 130 years of Hiroshima, of the Gulag Archipelago, of the Holocaust. They were, and what...
Yep, now see, vocab alone, you ain't gonna talk about this Holocaust, our Holocaust, but you like to talk about the one of the Ish people, all right, which I doubt they number, one that has, that is one of the main people in there, all right, over there, up and across the pond, as my grandpa Hollis, great grandpa Hollis say, across the pond, all right. Man, you gonna talk about the slaughter of the rearers, like, see, vocab alone, the rest of these Christians, right? They're not gonna go into the scripture, not gonna go into secular history. They're gonna go on what they said, all right? You can't go on what you say, man. All right, he said, prove all things, hold fast that which is good, man. You just can't get up there, open your mouth, and talk what's on top of your head, man. That's what spared all this that plantation Christianity, man. Get everybody confused, man. All right.
You talk about really prolonged lethal suffering. It was a great die-off. It was like a great extinction event.
It's their prolonged suffering. All right, go to and I'm probably gonna have to split this up to all right, it says Deuteronomy 28 and 28 and 68. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again when his captivity is also taught America. All right, because Israelite slaves went to Haiti. Israelite slaves went to Jamaica. Israel with the Barbados. You had went to other countries. All right, it says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right, so, those slave ships. All right, go to first captivity. First, the actual captivity over there in the land of Ham, so-called Africa. All right, all 12 tribes in that captivity. It says, by the way, I spake on these, so it's double for talking about Egypt, talking about America, is also talking about captivity. By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see no more again. The whole nation, you'll see the whole land of Israel again. There you should be sold unto your enemy from bondmen, and bondwomen. All right, so Yahweh gave us up to our enemies, man. We get up on the slave auction block for bondmen and bondwomen. And no man should buy you. Nobody should save us. Right? So you see right here, he said you have to endure slavery. All right, so you have to endure it, man. All right, so you can see it right here. This is page 174, American Discovery of Europe by Jack D. Before. It says some of the captives were taken to Europe while others were resold, as when a group of Spanish certain a person was sold to the English in Virginia in 1619. Others were taken to New Amsterdam, New York, where many Maya captives from Campeche, and elsewhere appear in the city records. All right, that's Deuteronomy 28:68. You scoff. You like to scoff and said, when was they when the so-called were taken to a man? There was some that went actually. They came to Babylon, man. All right, a lot of them came to numerous of them came to Babylon, man. All right, and see. Let's see, right here is this page 230 from the book American Slavery. Page 230, it says in 1679, it says New York abolished Indian slavery, declare all free except such have been formerly brought from the Bay of Campeche, Mexico, other foreign parts. All right, so Zebulon, man. All right, so there's no getting around this, man. All right, there's no getting around this, man. All right, matter of fact, let me see. So another point I want to bring out. Where is it? Let me see. Not that. Let me see. Yeah, page 169, the book American Discovery of Europe. It said gradually the shipment of Caribbean America to Spain probably declined due to great labor needs developing in Haiti and Cuba. All right, talking about Ephraim Simeon. All right, getting shipped to Spain. All right, it says as the additional population was decimated by disease was exploitation. All right, talking about slavery. All right, but they still run, just got reclassified and slaughtered. It says right here, but we do know that America continued to be taken to Spain from the Caribbean region and Mexico all during the 16th century. And especially in the first half of the century, slave record in Seville, Venezuela, and the Canary Islands, over there in Africa, tested many new arrivals from Caribbean Mexico in the years through the 1600s. So you got Issachar, Issachar from the Mexico over there in the Canary, over there in Africa, off the coast of Africa, man. And see, that's the purpose of the 12 tribe sign, man. All right, that's the purpose of having the 12 tribe sign, man. All right, because these people will scatter all the earth. Spain, Canary Islands, off the coast of Africa. All right, and one doubt they will be over there in over there in Portugal. You know. All right, so this is real, man. This ain't nothing we making up and everything, man. All right, we're not making this up, man. This is historical thing. That's historical, man. All right, let's see. Let me see. This one is something in history I want to bring out, but anyway, man. All right, so let's continue. All right. Oh, this one I want to bring out. Deuteronomy 28:64. It said, Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even to the other, and there thou shalt serve the gods which neither thou nor thy fathers had known, even wood and stone. Right, so be scattered all the earth. Let's go right here, Leviticus 26. Good curses in here too. All right, let me see. Penalties of disobedience. All right, you see. I will set my face against you. Leviticus 26:17. I will set my face against you, and you shall be slain before your enemies. And they that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee with none pursueth. Man, who hate us? Esau, man. And you say they slaughtered him. All right. It said Amos chapter 1 verse 11. All right, it said, "Thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions, Edom for 4, I will not turn to punish them, because he did pursue his brother with the sword and did cast all pit in his anger to tell Patrick. He kept his wrath forever, man." All right. All right, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. "I will scatter you among the heathen, will draw the sword after you. Your land shall be desolate, your cities shall be waste. When you scatter among the heathen." All right. It says, "Ye shall perish." Leviticus 26:38. "And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land your enemy shall eat you up. They that are left of you," look at this, "and they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in their enemy lands. And also iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them." All right. Let me see. This one.
And that, the Mexican people today, part of what really forged the character of the Mexican people, and I admire them enormously, that I've known some of the finest people I've ever known in my life were Mexicans. And I mentioned that in the afterwards, at the end of the book. And they have enormous stoicism, enormous fatalism, enormous courage beyond unimaginable courage.
Because they are Israelites. They are Israelites. Lions of Israel, man. All right. We're strong people, real courageous people, man. All right.
And I think a lot of that was forged during that period when 98% of the population died horrible, painful, agonizing deaths.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Holocaust of enormous proportions, and
like I pointed out, all of them didn't die out as believe. All right.
In a fairly, as you mentioned, a pretty quick period of time, and that has a way of imprinting on a nation's soul, just like our own slavery did, which is part of why Abraham Lincoln and others were trying to abolish it. They knew it was staining our.
And Abraham Lincoln, he did not abolish slavery, man, and that's what all they did just transferred the cargo, which is us, so-called Negroes, Latino Native Americans up the north, man, to the industrial age, man. All right, so we went from the plow hole to the plow hole to the press machine. All right, put it that way. All right, and the word employee breaks down to slave. All right, you got your social security number, you still a slave. All right, you go to prison under 13 minutes, you're a slave. All right.
Our soul as a country, and that we had to eradicate that. But as you already pointed out, there was this fissure within the Catholic Church. Some parts of the official Vatican philosophy was that slavery was okay because for whatever reason, fill in the blank, and other people were saying, no, this is wrong, and eventually the this is wrong people won out, but not until after tens of millions of people were eliminated from the face of the planet.
Yeah, the Mexican government in 1829 outlawed slavery, but that was a joke. That they put the wealthy people of Mexico appointed all the judges and hired all the police, and they were basically allowed to do anything they wanted.
See that? All right, you go. Let me get this. All right. Hold on. Get this. Come on. Hell. This will go here. Well, Psalm chapter 2. All right, it says right here, Wisdom Psalm chapter 2. I'm starting with 10. Let us approach the poor righteous man, which is Israel. All right, let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grace of the hairs of the age. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. All right. All right. So that was going on down there. Esau doing to Issachar down there in Mexico, man. All right. They said, "Oh, we'll we'll abolish slavery," but then they had slavery after that, man. Just like North Alabama, man, they had their damn sharecroppers. That sharecrop after slavery, man. Like I said, legal and free than anything, man. All right. But all right, you devils, man.
And that's the interesting piece too, because I'll tell you a quick little thing. My wife's grandfather was a widower, married a woman who, as it turns out, I mean, she was in the United States working at the hospital where he was a doctor, and she had a legacy, a family Mexican legacy, and she was of Spanish descent within Mexico. And so even my wife remembers going to visit her Mexican grandmother in Mexico City, and they would stay for quite a few weeks in the summer. And it was all built around the number of servants they had. The servants were usually very dark-skinned people.
Oh, there you go. Let it know the original Indigenous people still around, man. They was still around.
Weren't of the Spanish class, and that light-skinned European Mexican still ruled. And we're talking about into the 1970s.
Whoa. All right. Yep. That's what happened. All right. What it says, and I'm gonna read it again. All right. It says Deuteronomy 28, 40. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read all the way down to 46. It says, "A stranger that will offend thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, overtake till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and statutes which he command thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Right? So that's how you know that's how you know the indigenous people of Mexico, and those are the paternal descendants of those indigenous people. That's how you know they're the Israelites. They went through all the curses and still going through them, man. It said a sign. That's how you know they're Israelites, man. All right. And it show you right here. Then they go back to what vocab belong, his old dumb self and the other scoffers. You got Quanah from 4P, all the rest of you people, man, who you're illiterate when it comes to these scriptures, man. All right. It says, you got dyslexia. All right. It says, Genesis 49:14, Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. What is their burden? Mexico and America. And he saw that the rest was good, the land was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder bare. It became a servant unto tribute. That is slavery, man. That is straight up slavery. All right. Let's see. Isaiah 5. Plug up this phone. It says Isaiah 5:13, "For my people are going to captivity because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and multitude dried up with thirst." Man. All right. Let's see.
They still enjoyed a privileged place within Mexican society.
Yeah.
That's your.
It said they enjoy. Let's go back to this. Hold on. Baruch 4. It says, Baruch 4:30, take good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. Mizpah, they that afflicted and rejoice at thy fall. Mizpah, the cities with thy children serve. Mizpah is she that received thy sons, for she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad of thy fall. So shall she be grieved her own desolation. All right. But I'm gonna end it right here. This is part 1. I'm gonna come back part